Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today's the part 4 of the Honda Pilot rebuild. As you guys remember, in the previous video I already went ahead and cut the frame rail out. So in this video I'm probably just going to replace it with my donor part. I don't want to mess with it. This is going to take too much time. I'd rather replace it. It's going to be done 100% right and it's going to be quick. And also I do need to replace this piece right here. As you guys remember, it is bent. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill all this stuff out, and also the radiator support is gonna have to be replaced as well. So without wasting any time guys, let's get started on it and let's get this thing knocked out. Alrighty guys, so the old piece is off. It was actually a little bit harder than I expected, but I managed to get it off. There's a bunch of spot welds here, the back over here, and also there's a few spot welds that were not noticeable, but I managed to get them out as well. So the piece is out. Now we're probably going to go ahead and move on to the donor part outside and start drilling that one out, and then bring it here and test fit it, make sure everything fits good. Then we'll move on to the radiator support and obviously the headlights. Everything, will make sure everything mounts perfect, and then we'll start welding. Okay guys, so change of plans. I had to remove this piece over here that goes on the bottom. It already comes with the new radiator support. That's why I removed it. I just want it to be a new piece. It's gonna look better and it'll fit better as well. And this piece I'm gonna leave it as it is, and I'm just gonna use this outer section right here from the donor part. And the frame rail, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it somewhere back here. And as you guys can see, this thing is one full piece. Probably going to cut it like that, and then obviously weld it like this, and it'll be as good as new. But on the other side is gonna be somewhere, I think, back there. But let's go ahead and start working on the frame rail first. Let's go ahead and cut it and make sure it's all straight, and we're gonna put on the new frame rail on here, make sure it aligns perfectly. And then obviously next we're gonna move on to the radiator support. Hopefully that fits as well, and we'll keep moving. Alright, so now I'm test fitting the frame rail, and this thing is fitting absolutely perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and take some measurements. Here's this side. There's a little bit bigger gap on the bottom, but that is no problem. I'm going to weld that. I might have to bring it down just a hair, which will close up the gap a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and take some measurements right now, see how everything is looking. And then if it looks good, we're going to go ahead and tack weld the frame rail, and then we'll keep moving to the radiator support and check out the measurements then, and then we'll just start welding everything back together. Alright guys, so as you guys already seen, I took all the measurements from the side. The height, everything looks perfect. And also when you're working on cars and when you're replacing frame rails, it's always a great idea to throw the crash bar on there, just to make sure all the holes are aligning perfect. As you guys can see, let's see if I can get it to focus. Basically this hole right here is aligning perfect. I put this bolt on here, and here is this side All the holes are aligning perfectly. So now I can go ahead and clean off this metal right here and probably tack weld it on a couple spots. That way it's not moving anywhere. So as I mentioned, I'm gonna tack weld it, and there it is. So let me get rid of these wise grips. All right, it's holding pretty good. So now let's move on to the radiator support. Start separating that piece and then start mounting it on here, and hopefully everything lines up perfectly. All right guys, so here is the new corner piece, and now let's go ahead and mount it on there, and hopefully this thing fits perfectly. Here's the corner piece. It's mounted and everything lines up perfectly. The holes, it could go a little bit that way, but there is still some room here, so before I weld it, I'm still gonna double check everything. But as of right now, let me show you guys over here. This hole aligns perfectly, and this side aligns perfectly as well. There's nothing holding it over here just yet, but like I said, before I start welding, I'm gonna make sure everything is perfect. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple measurements on camera. That way you guys can see how everything is lining up. All right guys, so we're gonna start off with going by the diagonals. And the first point is on the hinge over there, as you guys can see, and here it is right here. Dead on. Same thing with the other side, over there and over here, which is perfect. And now we're gonna do the length from the hinge to this bolt. It's perfect. From there to here, perfect. Alrighty guys, so I took the piece off and I got it ready, as in drilled all the holes that need to be drilled. And also I already went ahead and threw weld through primer everywhere where I cleaned off the metal, and everywhere up here and here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and weld the frame rail in first before I start mounting the radiator support back on there. Go ahead and weld the whole thing, and then we'll mount on the radiator support and start test fitting all the parts. Alrighty guys, there we have it, grinded. Everything looks nice and smooth. Look at that, looks perfect. Here's this side. Nice. And now I'm gonna go ahead and spray some primer inside, just for it not to rust in the future. Alrighty guys, the corner piece is mounted back on, and also the front piece, or the center piece, I already mounted it as well. Some parts I did self-tap them just for them to hold, because I am about to test fit all the parts. And here's this side. I threw one self-tapper over there, and I had to tack weld a couple spots here. That way this thing is not moving. But let's go ahead and start installing the hood probably, and then we'll move on to the fenders and headlights, and we'll see how everything lines up. Check this out guys, look at these gaps on this car. Look at this. This fender needs to come down just a hair, but the gap itself looks amazing. Let me show you these gaps right here. This could come out a little bit, but these gaps are very adjustable. I just mocked it up just to see how these gaps will turn out, and man, these things are looking amazing. Here's this side. This gap is actually perfect how it's supposed to be. I'm gonna adjust that one later after I'm done welding. And here is this gap right here. It's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but anyway, all these gaps are aligning perfect, and all the holes are aligning, the bolts, everything is perfect. That means we can go ahead and start taking everything off and start welding it. Alright guys, so it's actually the next day right now, and as you guys can see behind me, I already have the wheels on and it's off the blocks, which means I'm gonna go ahead and take it off because I need to get another car up on the frame machine. But I'm not gonna stop working on it. As soon as I take it off, I'm gonna park it right here, right behind me, and I'm gonna start welding it. And as soon as I'm done welding it, I'm gonna take it to the paint shop. Hopefully it'll get done in the next week or so. So let's go ahead and take off the pilot off the frame machine and start welding. Alright guys, so I'm running into a problem. Obviously I can't start it because I hadn't replaced the starter yet, and I can't set it in neutral either. So I'm gonna catch you guys whenever I figure this thing out, and I'll tell you guys what was the problem. Alright guys, so I couldn't get this thing started, so I've decided I'm gonna replace the starter, and I'm not sure if it's bad or not, but it's making some noise. I'm not sure if it's normal, but anyway, I replaced it right here. There's the new one, and now I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. Turn on the power. Hopefully this thing fixes the problem. Yes sir. There you guys have it. Starter was the problem, which is awesome. I was hoping there was no other issues, but that fixed the problem. Now I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble everything and start welding it. Probably gonna set it up on some blocks or jack stands. That way I can have a decent axis and weld it in and grind it, and we should be done. Then we can take it to the paint shop. Alright guys, so now that it's finally disassembled, I already went ahead and put this piece on here. This was the cover. The new radiator support didn't come with it, so I had to get it from my donor part over there. I already put it on here. So now, only thing that's left here is to start welding. Let's get to it. Alrighty guys, finally everything is welded, and it looks absolutely amazing. All the welds turned out perfect. Now I just have to grind them down just a little bit to smoothen down the surface a little bit, and then I can apply some seam sealer, and I can probably paint the radiator support, and that should be it, guys. Man, this thing is coming along pretty quick finally. And here's this side. All the welds turned out amazing right here. Looks perfect. Let's get to grinding. Alrighty guys, so everything is grinded, and now I finally sealed it off as well, and it looks amazing. I'm gonna let it dry out. I'm gonna go grab something to eat real quick, and then when I come back I'm gonna paint the radiator support. Alright guys, so I actually mounted the fenders on and the hood. Well, the hood was already on, but I mounted the fenders on, and now I'm gonna go ahead and take it to the paint shop, and in the next video I'll be assembling it. And also guys, I was gonna paint the radiator support, but sadly the paint did not show up today, so I'm gonna have to wait till the car shows up from the paint shop, and then I'm gonna paint it. Obviously I'll take the fenders off and the hood, that way there's no overspray or whatever. But anyway, let's go ahead and take it to the paint shop. Alrighty guys, Pilot is finally out of here, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and call the towing guy to get it to the paint guy, because I did sell my F-250, so I don't really have anything to tow with now. I do have a plan of getting another pickup truck that I will decide to keep for a while, and maybe tow my cars around to the paint shop or pick up new builds or whatnot. But anyway, the Pilot is off to the paint shop. In the meantime guys, I did get me another build. Nothing expensive, something cheap again. Another Honda. I'll be honest with you guys, I might reveal the price on it in the next video or not, but we'll see. But with all that being said guys, if you're new to this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like my videos, share them with your friends, and follow me on Instagram at Rebuild with Nick. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.